You think, how long are you going to last? Well, you can't say, you know. You can be big-headed and say, yeah, we're going to last 10 years. But as soon as you've said that, you think, you know, we're lucky if we last 3 months, you know.
Well, obviously we can't keep playing the same sort of music until we're about 40, because when we're sort of old men playing From Me to You, nobody's going to want to know it's all about that sort of thing. So, you know, we've thought about it, and probably the thing that John and I will do will be write songs as we have been doing as a sort of sideline now. We'll probably develop that a bit more, we hope. Who knows, at 40 we may not know how to write songs anymore.
I hope to have enough money to go into a business of my own by the time we do flop. And, I mean, we don't know, it may be next week, it may be 2 or 3 years, but I think we'll be in the business, either up there or down there, for at least another 4 years.
Paul, do you mind girls screaming all through your act?
No, we like them screaming, generally all of us, but it's a bit much all the way through.
Yeah.
But we love them screaming.
Yeah. John, this is a question which you've probably been asked 1,000 times before, but you always, all of you give different versions or different answers. So you got to tell me now, how did the Beatles get their name?
I just thought of it.
You just thought of it? Another brilliant thing.
No, really.
Were they called anything else before?
They called the Quarrymen.
Oh, you rugged character. Oh, John, listen. Do you have false teeth, as they always look so evil? Even?
No.
Even?
They're all chipped and battered.
No, girls, would you say his teeth were chipped and battered? No.
No!
They're rather beautiful.
Watch out off the motor cars, suicide.
Yeah, anyway, that's
about
the
it.
answer to the question.
Yeah. It's very nice to be in Ireland, though.
Both bits.
Yeah.
Have you been in any way flattered by the hysterical reaction of teenagers?
Yeah, very flattered.
It's been great. It was marvellous last night, and we hope it'll be as good tonight.
Would you be quiet, please?
Could you please sing something?
No! Sorry.
Next question. You can sing.
No, we need money first.
What do you think of the comment that you're nothing but a bunch of British Elvis Presley?
Oh, it's not true, it's not true. There's a question here. How many are bald if you have to wear those wigs?
All of us.
I'm bald. You're bald? Oh, we're all bald. Don't tell anyone, please. I'm deaf and dumb, too.
Do you prefer mods or rockers?
Don't know. I like any of them. Mockers, I like. I think they're the best. No real preferences.
Why is it, Paul, that you're always described as the most intelligent one of the Beatles? Are you?
No, I'm not. No. Well, John's written a book, you know, so he must be more intelligent than me. You've got to be intelligent to write books.
Well, gentlemen, first of all, many congratulations on your MBE. The whole country seems very delighted indeed, but how do you feel about it, Paul?
Delighted indeed. You know, I'm glad everyone's delighted. I love it.
But I mean, is it fun for you? Or?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, it'd be fun for you, wouldn't it? You know, if you just woke up one morning and he said, you know, it's great.
If it had said television is more popular than Jesus, I might have got away with it. You know, but as I just happened to be talking to a friend, I used the word Beatles as a remote thing, not as what I think, as Beatles as though those other Beatles like other people see us. And I just said they are having more influence on kids and things than anything else, including Jesus. But I said it in that way, which is the wrong way. Yeah.
A recent article, Time magazine put down pop music, and they referred to Day Tripper as being about a prostitute, and Norwegian Wood as being about a lesbian. Now, I just wanted to know what your intent was when you wrote it, and what your feeling is about the Time magazine criticism of the music that is being written today.
We were just trying to write songs about prostitutes and lesbians, that's all.
You never tour again, would it worry you?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Wouldn't worry you?
But because the only thing about that, you see, is that performance for us, see, it's gone downhill, performance, because we can't develop when no one can hear us, you know what I mean? So for us to perform is it's difficult, gets difficult each time.
You mean they don't listen to you, and therefore you don't want to do that?
Oh yeah, we want to do it, but if we're not listened to, then, and we can't even hear ourselves, then we can't improve. in that. We can't get any better.
I just want to ask you, do you think that in the new year that you're going to be going your own ways instead of being in a group?
No.
No? No, George, definitely not.
John, where would you be today without Mr. Epstein?
I don't know.
Are you driving down to London tonight?
Yes, somebody's taking us down here.
You heard the news this afternoon, I believe.
Yes.
And Paul's already gone down?
Yes.
I see. You've no idea what your plans are for tomorrow?
No, we'd just go and find out, you know. And
just have to play everything by ear.
Yes. I understand that this afternoon Maharishi conferred with you all. Could I ask you what advice he offered you?
He told us to, not to get overwhelmed by grief, and to whatever thoughts we have of Brian, to keep them happy, because any thoughts we have of him will travel to him wherever he is.
Had he ever met Mr. Epstein?
No, but he was looking forward to meeting him.
Gentlemen, it's good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Larry. Nice to see you, Larry.
What is Apple, John?
It's a company we're setting up which involves records, films, electronics, which make records and films work, and what's it called, manufacturing?
Yeah, it does a few things.
You know, the byproducts that end up with Larry Page. The best thing we've done so far is talk to the people at Berkeley, and we think we had some influence in holding back any violence that was going to come out of that. And we believe that, and we talk to them solid every hour before the march and after.
During this last week.
We talk to them every day. We talk on the phone, on the radio station, live.
I saw them throwing rocks at cops just a couple of days ago. You'd better talk to them a little more.
Well, nobody got shot this time, did they?
No, nobody got shot.
What are you doing about it?
Which, I mean, the moratorium, it says throughout the
the
nation.
one here, the recent big one, they were singing Give Peace a Chance, you know.
A song of yours, probably.
Well, yes, and it was written specifically for them.
Can't you give up something else that would mean a little bit more?
It's not the sacrifice. You can't get that into your head, can you? You've stated half a dozen times the MBE is irrelevant. I agree. It was no sacrifice to get rid of the MBE because it was an embarrassment.
Then what kind of a protest did you make? You said, I don't know much about
Nigeria. An advertising campaign for peace. Can you understand that?
No, I can't.
A very big advertising campaign for peace.
I'm someone who admired you very much.
Well, I'm sorry you liked the old mop tops, dear, and you thought I was very satirical and witty, and you liked Hard Day's Night Love, but I've grown up, but you obviously haven't.
Have you?
George, only a brief document or two left.
For the record, I'd just like to say these are more papers that I don't know what they say.
Any of these?
But I'm sorry.
Always.
John Snow. No, Richard Starkey.
All right.
Oh, John Lennon. Oh, George Harrison. Krishna. May the Lord help this to become final.
The small gathering on Savile Row is only the beginning. The event is so momentous that historians may one day view it as a landmark in the decline of the British Empire.
There was also the theory that you attracted more girls by being the quiet one, in the same sense that a guy at a party who sits in the corner will have the girl come over and say, "Oh, what's the matter?"
It's just
this was not a calculated
dirty rumor.
Philosophy on your part. Was it?
Just a rumor, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Paul used to get them all with his, you know.
But you're a Beatle, you've had all the success. Do you think you're going to make it again in the past?
I don't know about as successful as, it's a bit hard to be as successful as the Beatles, you know. I mean, I'm not shooting for to be as successful as the Beatles necessarily, but the main thing is I like to be in work, you know, that's the main thing for me. And if it's successful work, then that's better than unsuccessful work.
Do you think you've all gone your own way so much that you can't get back together musically?
Maybe, yeah, something like that. In fact, it may not even be as good, you know. It mightn't even be as good. I think in a way the Beatles have done it, you know. Beatles started from nothing and got everywhere. The thing is, you know, I don't know whether anyone really would even like to even try and push it any further, you know.
The inevitable question. You know, I mean,
Are they ever going to get back together?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, is there any possibility? But secondly, much more important, do you think that it's a good idea?
Well, that's another point altogether, whether it'd be a good idea or not. You see, it's strange, because at one period when they're asking me, I was saying, no, never, what the hell, go back, no, not me. And then there came to a period when I thought, well, why not? If we felt like making a record or doing something, everybody always envisaged the stage show. To me, if we worked together at studio again, you know, the stage show something else. If we got something to say in a studio, okay. Now, when I'm saying that, I turn the paper and Georgie's saying, not me, right? It's never got to a position where each one of us have wanted to do it at the same time. All through my thing, I've always been a little different. You know, Lennon blasts Hollies. You know, that was one of the early steps. I mean, I've always been that. Our first national press was me beating up a disc jockey at Paul's 21st party. That was the first Beatles national press, and we got the back page of the Mirror. I've always been a little, you know, loose. And I hope it'll change, because I'm fed up of waking up in the papers, you know. But if it doesn't, you know, my friends are my friends, whatever way.
I was very shocked, you know. It's terrible news.
How did you find out about it?
I got a phone call this morning.
What time did you hear the news?
This morning sometime.
Very early?
Yeah. Gone now, yeah? Drag, isn't it? Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.
I'm really sad. I still miss John a great deal. I'll always miss him, you know, but it's still brand new.
When you heard about, how did you hear about it?
Barbara's daughter called us up saying John's been shot. And so that drove me crazy, but you think he's been shot, he's shot in the arm, shot in the leg. And then they came back and they said he's dead. Do you want to stop that now?
No.
Because it doesn't help, you know, but it always gets me upset. Right now.
The charge yesterday, I was just caught with a small quantity of cannabis, for which I was fined 200 Barbados dollars. I don't hold any grudges. It didn't really spoil my holiday. I don't believe it's a terribly harmful thing to do.
Did you think they'd send you for drugs?
Are you?
I don't take drugs. I never have taken drugs. Are you going to?
No.
Were you worried about being
Never
sent?
again.
Were you worried about being sent to jail?
Yes, I know.
Then why did you do it?
Do you mean it this time?
Pardon?
Do you mean it this time?
Probably not.
People were
But
more
let's get
relaxed
one
about it
thing
than they would
straight.
have
Can we
been
get
in
one
London.
thing straight? That whatever you think and whatever you think I've done, this, I'm telling you, this substance, cannabis, is a whole lot less harmful than rum punch, whiskey, nicotine, and glue, all of which are perfectly legal.
What about your children? What about your children,
I would like
Paul?
to see it decriminalised.
Write it so that, you know, I mean, you don't want to milk it into some huge big thing.
No, of course.
I mean, I'd prefer you were to be honest about it.
No, that's fine.
You know, 'cause there's nothing worse than, you know, bullshit, you know what I mean? And then all it does is, it means everybody else starts phoning up, and then they want their version of it, you know? I'm sorry, I mean, we're all going to die one day, but I'm not going to die for you quite yet.
You wouldn't want that.
Well, you never know. I think it makes a good story, doesn't it?
The last weeks of George's life, he was in Switzerland, and I went to see him, and he was very ill, and he could only lay down. And while he was being ill, and I'd come to see him, I was going to Boston because my daughter had a brain tumor, and I said, well, you know, I've got to go. I've got to go to Boston. And he goes, that's the last words I heard him say, actually. And he said, do you want me to come with you? Oh, God.
Is Paul McCartney a vegan? No, he isn't. He's a vegetarian, but he eats cheese. I'll tell you why. It's a compassion thing for animals. And it's a kind of thing that I recognize that a lot of people think it's dumb. I mean, actually less people these days than before. But a lot of people think, oh, you know. But to me, all the creatures on the planet that live on this planet, this one little sphere in space, we've all got a shot at a life. And so many animals don't. I like the idea of giving them their little shot. Is Paul McCartney's Hofner bass the original? Yeah, it's one of the originals. I had two, but one got stolen, and we still don't know where it is. Just somewhere along the way, the one I was using just vanished. We've no idea where it went, But the one I'm using is one of the originals. It's one that I've used for a long time. It is interesting, though, to think, where did that one go? Because no one can bring it out, because everyone knows it's mine. They've got pictures of it. So my theory is, and it's kind of half fantasy, but it's that you go to some German castle way in the hills of Bavaria, and you'll have dinner, and then the host will say, "Come, let me show you something." And you go up into this little room, and there's my bass over his mantelpiece.
Are you ever stunned by the reach of your work? How many different cultures have embraced it? Because we had on, do you know the Korean pop band BTS?
Yeah.
Okay, they're the biggest thing on the planet right now.
So I've heard.
And when we had them on, I asked them this question, Jim. You are the first group, as I said before, to earn 3 #1 albums in less than a year since the Beatles. Do you guys have favorite Beatles songs?
No.
No, 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 no. What do you think it is about your music that transcends geographic and language barriers so that those 7 guys would just jump up and start the na-na-nas?
Easy lyrics.
That's true.
In those days, you know, it was like, you know, there was freedom when you were in Sardinia to smoke dope. And I got into a really great mood, and the weather was great. And I was just on the deck, and the captain came out, and, you know, he realized we didn't want his octopus. He said, "You know what octopus do? They find on the ocean bed pretty rocks and tins, actually, that've been thrown from other boats, and they put like a garden around them. Well, when you're stoned, that's the best idea I've ever heard in my life." I go, "What?"